Good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is that you are joining us in consciousness, we are grateful. I'm Reverend Therese Lee. I am back in Bluffton, grateful to be home, grateful to have been of sacred service for several weeks, and we are Unity Spiritual Center, Hilton Head, South Carolina. Let's start in prayer, as we always do. And if you have a prayer request, go ahead and write it in the box. Let us know your name and where you're from, and if you have any special requests. And so let's close our outer eyes for a moment as we're comfortable. And we breathe into this knowing. We breathe into this now moment. We live and love. We are full of laughter and gladness. We are still and we know of the one presence and the one power active in our lives, through us, as us. And so it is in this moment as we gather together, we let this power work in, through, and as each of us. And so it is, we are grateful. Amen. Reverend Therese, Unity Spiritual Center. So excited to be back home. So excited to be with my plants and starting to see people already locally, and of course practicing safe distancing so we can stay healthy. I think you'll agree at the heart of our Unity message is always and in always the message of oneness. Yes? The message of oneness. Our affirmation for today: I am alive, awake, alert, joyous, and enthusiastic about my life. This was the affirmation that I learned back in the day, I don't know, the late 80s, early 90s at my one of my churches in Chicago. So let's say it again. I am alive, awake, alert, joyous, and enthusiastic about my life. Now with your playground voices so I can hear it here. I am alive, awake, alert, joyous, and enthusiastic about my life. Today we're going to talk about living while we are alive, right? Let's do it. Let's be present to this now moment, letting go all the past and the things that no longer serve us, and stay centered in this now moment. And I'm turning off the background music. So we say in Unity, and we know this to be true, I do in my heart, in my mind, in my soul, there is one God, one mind, in each of us. And each of us is an expression of this one. Breathe with me. Yes, you matter. Your presence makes a difference here on the Ethernet, over the Ethernet. It makes a presence of possibility. Your consciousness is important. So I'm wondering, how do you intend for this one mind that we might call God, you might call it something else, how do you intend for this oneness to use you, to be you, in, through, and as you? If you have that, if you know it, write it in the box. I would love to know. I would love to know. The power that you and I call God, well, let me just speak for myself. The power that I call God is a dynamic and creative divine energy. And what I know about this divine energy, it continually expresses through me, through you, through our thinking, through our beliefs, and out pictures as our attitude. We talk here often about the attitude of gratitude. We talk about attitudes being contagious. The question being, is yours worth catching? I hope so. A colleague of the Fillmores was Ernest Holmes, who founded Science of Mind, which now is called Centers for Spiritual Living, I believe. And this is what Ernest Holmes says: the power behind all things is within us, working in, through, and as us, and for us. Are you breathing? He says it becomes operative through our own thoughts. And you and I shall see that what we need is not some greater power. Holmes says rather a greater consciousness, a deeper realization of life, a more sublime concept of being, a more intimate concept of the indwelling God within us. Today I want us to talk about life. L-I-F-E. You know me, I love a play on words, yes? So are you ready? Are you willing? I know you're able. Are you ready? Are you willing? I'm wondering, how goes your intention that you set back in January for 2021? We're past the halfway mark now. How are you living the intention that you might have set? Remember, in Unity, we don't talk about resolutions. We talk about setting intentions and living from this commitment to ourselves. In Unity teachings and what I believe and where I live from is that we get to change our consciousness so that I can change my behavior. Consciousness, thinking, awareness of everything around us so that I can change then how I make manifest myself, capital S self, in the world. How I outpicture Therese, so to speak. It calls sometimes for an actual change of beliefs, because you know what I call a belief system? BS, right? Yes. What do you believe about yourself? Do you embrace your divinity? Do you acknowledge how divine you are? So take a moment and say out loud, so I can hear it out down here in Bluffton, I am divine. I am divine. And yet sometimes we forget, don't we? We adopt the worldview that individual beings are separated here as humans on this earth. Separated from source, which I call God. Separate from each other, because I don't get to see you every day. This is the call for us to change our consciousness. I get to see you with my mind's eye. I get to see you. Yes. I see I might be having some issues with my internet. I apologize. I've been trying since Friday night to get it right. Stay the course, Hargrave. So today we're going to unpack 4 ideas of consciousness, and we know metaphysically that 4 is a foundational number. 4 is the foundation of many things in the Bible. It's a very spiritual number. So 4 letters in the word of life, L-I-F-E. L for letting go of the past. I for imagining a life of possibility. F for freeing yourself to choose. And E, expressing your divinity. L-I-F-E, letting go, imagining, freeing, expressing. Letting go, imagining, freeing, and expressing. 4 ways of being that we'll talk about today. The first one is about L, right? Life. Capital L, life, is about letting go the past. Whatever aggravations there might have been this morning, whatever happened yesterday, the day before, last week, certainly years ago. Do I do this every moment? Not yet. Not yet. I'm working on it, right? So we get to answer the call to a greater expression of ourselves as we let go and grow. Another favorite saying of mine is, here I grow again. Are you willing? We get to climb the ladder to the next level of consciousness when we let go the rung that is no longer serving us, so to speak, right? Those things that don't serve us, we bless them on their way, lovingly releasing them. We let go of the old before we can allow and call forth the new. This is basic understanding of life stuff. Pretty easy to be said, not always easy to do, right? Up until now. This is why we use denials and affirmations in our prayer time. Denying that which has no power over us and affirming the truth of the power within us. We get to let go the hanging on of the old, which tarnishes, so to speak, the new. The newness that's trying to make its way in through and as you. Developing as our life. L.I.F.E. Scripture tells us, the Bible tells us that Jesus said that we do not get to put old wine in new wineskins. No, I'm sorry. New wine in old wineskins, right? Can't happen. It's ucky, as we might say, ew, right? So we get to remember these things. We get to clear up the clutter that is clogging our consciousness so we can then see anew. We can embrace anew. Letting go of the past allows us to be the person who we've come here to be. As we bless all the old patterns and the ideas that no longer serve us on their way. Bye-bye, bye-bye. And then we get to be who we've come here to be. It's so exciting. In Luke, the book of Luke, chapter 9, verse 60, it says that Jesus told us to follow him and proclaim the kingdom of God. Now, are we following a man? No. Are we following the Christ consciousness that Jesus became as he did in his ministry? Yes. And where is the kingdom of God? Open up your shirt. Hello. Right here, right now, always and in always. We get to let go. So we get to realize that we get to answer the call of ourself, of fulfilling our intention we've set as we let go the past. And then we get to imagine a life of possibility. Are you willing? Are you willing? There's a story about a little old lady. I don't know what that means, little and old. And she was walking down the street carrying a small box, and there were holes punched in the top of the box. And her neighbor said to her, "Hey neighbor, what's in the box?" And the little old lady says, "A cat." And the neighbor says, "What for? What for?" And the little old lady says, "Well, I've been dreaming about mice at night, and I'm a little afraid of mice."